What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. For those of you who have watched our previous collaborations together, Pat and I here. He is my esteemed special guest once again. How you doing?
Doing pretty good.
So he and I
Am I
have,
a recurring guest star at this point?
yes, just about. Um, he and I recently did a top ranking all the Superman actors, and I figured with that we would rank all of the other like Superman related actors and actresses like Lois Lane's, Lex Luthor's. So this is going to be a video dedicated to ranking all the live action Lois Lanes. Just so you know, not everybody is going to be included on this list. Like for me, for instance, just like how George Reeve wasn't included on my Superman list, Noel Neal will not be included on my list for Lois Lane's. But just about almost everybody else will. It's not going to be a top 5 because I have 6 choices, and I don't have any honorable mentions because there haven't been many live-action Lois Lanes, and this is just limited to live action. Like, this does not include Rebecca Romijn from the more recent DC.
Shout out to Dana Delaney
Yeah.
from the DCAU, man. She was great.
This doesn't include Dana Delaney, Rebecca Romijn from the more recent DC animated movies, or Alexandra Daddario from Superman Man of Tomorrow animation. I think she was in that one. I'm not 100% sure. But this is just live action Lois Lane, so we are going to go and get right into it. As always, I let you start off first since you are my guest. Who is your least favorite Lois Lane? And I feel like we have the same least favorite and same favorite.
Oh God. So I might get some hate for this one.
I think I will too.
I'm gonna say Amy Adams.
Me too.
Yeah. And it's nothing really against Amy. I think she's a great actress in a lot of things. I love Arrival. I love The Muppets. She's really good in a lot of things. But yeah, and she's a Smallville alum and all that. But yeah. I don't know if it's necessarily miscasting or if it's the way the writing doesn't really. I always have felt like her Lois doesn't have like the fire that I expect Lois.
That's my whole thing. Like, I remember when she was cast. I remember almost everybody on the internet was like, "Oh, that's a total miscast." But like, I was one of those people that was like, "No, I think it's actually going to be good," because I'm like, I've loved her in everything I've seen up to that point.
Yeah.
Like, and then I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was her performance or if it was the writing or maybe a combination of both of them. But for me, she just lacked what Lois Lane is supposed to have. Like, Lois Lane is supposed to be sassy. She's supposed to be snarky and spunky. And when I watch like Man of Steel and like BVS and like the Snyder Cut, I'm not even mentioning the other one, Justice League. Yeah, no, that doesn't count anymore. That doesn't count anymore.
No, it's been erased.
I have. Okay, this is my official acknowledgement of the Snyder Cut, and I did like it. So it is now officially acknowledged by me. So
did you not do a review for it?
I did, but I gave it a positive review. But I want to reiterate that I liked it. No, it's just when I watch her as Lois Lane, I'm just like, this is just Amy Adams playing Amy Adams. But like, even then, I've never really bought into the fact that she was just miscast. I just think she was either going for something with her performance where she was trying to differentiate herself like a lot from the previous Lois Lanes, or there's just no character development there and they didn't know how to write Lois in these movies.
I don't know. I've always felt like there's like no playful side to her. Like, it's very like, oh yeah, like maybe it's because she like immediately knows Clark is Superman. I don't know if that's
and that was a huge problem I had with Man of Steel. I was like, what is the point now? Like, this is supposed to be a relationship that builds up. Like,
yeah, I mean,
to a huge degree, to the point where it's like Superman finally gets comfortable to tell her. I feel like she's not supposed to find out right away. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe
I can see it working though, because Smallville kind of did a similar angle where by the end of the show, Lois knows it's Clark.
Yeah.
But like, I could see it working. I just feel like I never felt the connection between her Lois and that Clark. Like, it just felt kind of like, oh, and like they would kind of like really put her into parts of the plot where she didn't need to be there. Like, why did she have to be at the military base?
It
Why
was
did Zod want to take her onto the ship? Like,
the problem I have with her is that she's used as a plot device.
all the time, all the time.
Yeah.
Lois is the key.
Yeah.
Lois is the
Well,
key.
then, like, as much as I hate BVS, it's like you have the whole fight with Batman and Superman, and then Batman gets rid of the kryptonite spear,
It's his
and
mother's name.
and then 2 minutes later, it's like, oh, we need that spear again. So she goes to get it. Doesn't she like drown or something, or doesn't
Starts like
Superman drown?
drowning, then Superman
Yeah,
has to save her. But like, yeah, in that movie, especially, Superman is like specifically his super hearing seems to be only in tune with Lois, where she's like in Africa, and he's like, "Oh, I can hear you're in trouble," or she's underwater, "Oh, I hear you're in trouble," and then
or
like his
or
mom got
or
kidnapped, and he
or
didn't notice.
or he doesn't notice the bomb because he's like, or save anybody in the courtroom because he's like, you're the only person I care about. Basically, that's like he didn't say that, but like it's basically what happened.
Lois is the key, Alex. You know, Lois is the key.
Yeah,
But I've never really quite
I've never,
accepted her.
I, yeah, I've never had a connection with her,
I just
and
always felt that she was lacking something, and I don't think it's Amy Adams' fault. I think the writing didn't do Lois any favors in those.
yeah, I feel like yeah, like I said, I don't know if it was her performance. I mean, I know you feel differently. Like you said, like it's not her fault. I mean, it's probably, I don't know if it is her performance. It's probably not. I just think that the writers just kind of back themselves into a hole where it's like we got to make this as different from the previous incarnations of Lois Lane as possible, but
Hmm.
they just stripped away the core of the character.
Yeah,
And
I feel like because that leads to a lot of fun, like little things you can do, and they kind of
yeah,
strip themselves of being able to do that. Instead, it's like, "Oh, Clark, welcome home. Come into the bathtub with me," and I'm like, whatever. Like, Clark barely spoke in that movie anyway.
I
So
know. Yeah. Who's next on your list?
next, I would have Terry Hatcher.
Oh my God, are our lists going to be the same?
I mean, I don't have the Superman and Lois,
Okay.
but otherwise they're probably going to be the same. But
Okay.
Terry Hatcher, I mean, she, unlike Amy Adams, I always felt she had like a strength to her, and she carried every scene she was in. Maybe because she was like such a better actress than Dean Cain was an actor. Um, but I just always thought she had that like attitude, that confidence of just being in like the Daily Planet, just like telling it how it was, you know? Like I
Yeah.
never like she would never felt like a damsel in distress or anything like that. She just seemed like she was a well put together person. And
Yeah.
I always appreciated that. I always really liked her interpretation of Lois.
Hey, how you doing, Tiger?
What's the matter with you? Walking kind of funny.
I didn't sleep real well last night. Lumpy mattress. Any leads on Corbin yet?
Police are staking out his apartment, but they don't really expect him to go back there.
Lucy, any help?
She's ducking me. I left messages for her everywhere. She can be very pig-headed. And no, it does not run in the family. Do you want some aspirin?
Why?
For your pain.
It doesn't do much for me.
Clark, have you talked to Superman?
Yeah, briefly. He's fine, just nursing some bruises.
I don't know why he doesn't contact me.
Well, he's probably a little bit embarrassed.
Embarrassed? Does he think that because he couldn't defeat some robot that changes the way I feel about him? Clark, that's not what attracts me. It's his intelligence and caring. He has integrity and innate goodness. I mean, he's a lot like you.
I'll give you that. Like, I probably would have put her above Kate Bosworth. Terry Hatcher, I just like, I
Oh
understand.
my God.
I understand where you're coming
I
from.
forgot about Kate Bosworth. Put her at the bottom. Put her at the bottom. She's at my bottom.
Wait, she's below Amy Adams? Okay.
To the point I forgot about her. Oh my God. You said Kate Bosworth. I'm like, wait, what? Yeah. Kate Bosworth that's a miscast. She was horribly miscast.
Well, I mean, you're gonna hate me when she's above Terry Hatcher
Oh
on
my
my
God.
list. No, here's my thing with Terry Hatcher. It's not just Lois and Clark, but like in everything that I've seen her in, she's just. I feel like she's just kind of one note with everything.
Yeah,
Like,
she's very Terry Hatcher and everything.
yeah, like she just has that one like monotone like tone of voice where she says everything in the same like manner.
The
So
thing is, I think Terry Hatcher kind of has a Lois vibe. So I think even though she's
yeah,
just playing
sure. I
herself,
mean, I will say she is the definitive Lois of the '90s. Like
yeah,
anybody
is
who
she the only Lois?
I think so. But like when I think about like Lois and Clark, like the first thing I immediately think about is Terry Hatcher. Like
Yes.
I don't think about Dean Cain as Superman.
No. Yeah, definitely Terry Hatcher was pretty good. So you have Kate Bosworth next.
I had Kate Bosworth next.
Oof, dude, oof.
Yeah, I know it's a miscast. I I just think here's why I put her above Amy Adams.
Yeah,
It's just because I feel like she embodies more of the character. Like I feel like the character was actually there, even if it's a huge miscast. And Kate Bosworth's not that good of an actress. Like, but at least like we still had like what we expected from Lois Lane. Like she was a Nobel Peace. Like what was it? Nobel Peace Prize winner.
no, she was a Pulitzer Prize winner.
Yeah, Pulitzer Prize. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, two totally different things. She was like a Pulitzer Prize winning journalist. Like, I mean, she's still like the thing is that the problem with Superman Returns, and we talked about this a little bit with Ralph, is that they were really trying to emulate like the Richard Donner films. So I feel like she was trying to emulate a lot of what Margo Kidder did.
Yeah, I never got the vibe that she was like with Brandon Routh.
Yeah,
I got the vibe like, oh yeah, that's Christopher Reeve kind of. But
Yeah.
with like Kate Bosworth, and then we'll talk about in our Lex video, Kevin Spacey, I feel like neither of them carried over that like what they were trying to do apparently very well. Like I never felt like that Lois is Margot Kidder from Superman 2, like a couple years
Right.
later, you
Right.
know? And I don't know because she looked so much younger, and then also just I
Yeah.
always felt she just was bland, and her and Brandon Routh had like no chemistry. Also, Lois in that movie was really mean for some reason. She's like, "Fuck
Yeah,
Superman, he left me here." I'm like,
Yeah, I kind of remember that. Like, doesn't she get mad at Clark too when he first comes back? It's like, where the hell have you been, or
yeah,
something?
she can't put together that Superman comes back the same day Clark Kent comes back.
Well, I also don't understand how Clark can't put together the fact that he has a kid with her.
Well, he eventually does,
Yeah, but
doesn't
like,
he? It's been a while.
like that, I don't know. Dude, that movie's so boring.
It's very not memorable too. The only thing I remember is how terrible Parker Posey is.
Yeah, fuck, I forgot about her. Shit.
She was like Miss Tessmacher, but not.
But yeah, I mean, I understand. Like, she's miscast. She's not a good actress, but I feel like in terms of like putting her above like Amy Adams or not, like the core of the character is at least still there, even though she's somewhat miswritten. I still feel like I could look at that and still be like, that's Lois Lane
I get that.
over Amy Adams.
Yeah.
You know,
At least the thing that puts her below Amy Adams for me is I remembered Amy Adams.
that's true.
You know, like I did
That's
not
true.
remember Kate Bosworth.
um, so that was my four. How many do you have? Do you have five? Because I have six.
Total 5, yeah.
Okay, so I have six. My third is Elizabeth Tullock from Superman and Lois. So this was actually the first time that I have seen her as Lois. Before this video, I spent a few hours watching Superman and Lois, just so I could include her on this list. And I think I have a very good idea as to who she is as Lois, and I think she's fine. You know, she's not great, but she's not bad. Like the I feel like they were trying to emulate like Smallville, because that's sort of what it feels like to me a little bit at times, because it's like, well, she's still got like the general like General Lane's still her father. I know that carries over from the comics, but I just feel like a lot of the characterization from like the Smallville Lois Lane carries over, and then it just doesn't, even though it's in a completely different universe, and then it just doesn't work because it's a different actress playing Lois Lane. But at the same time, she still has the spark and the sass. I just don't think she has as much of the spunk as the other two on my list. But I honestly, it's hard when you grow up watching one or two actors or actresses playing an iconic character and then going to another iteration of the character. And I feel like maybe there was like some bias where for me, like going into watching her performance as Lois Lane, where it's like, I'm not gonna like this. But then but like the thing is that you have to give it a chance. And I did give it a chance and I was like, actually, you know what? She actually wasn't bad. Like I thoroughly enjoy her as Lois Lane. Not the greatest, but it's not terrible, and I'm pleasantly surprised that I ended up enjoying it. So
Yeah, I can't comment on her because like I said, I've only seen like clips here and there from like Superman scenes and Supergirl, and then also in the new
yeah,
show. And I mean, I'm glad to hear that she's at least pretty good.
yeah,
She's better than Kate Bosworth.
yeah. Who's next on your list? I think our 1 and 2 are the same.
Probably Margo Kidder is my number two,
Yep,
and a
same.
lot of people might go, "How dare you? She's a
I know.
classic," and I'm like, I know, but and she's great. Like I think Margo Kidder, she had the attitude, and like she
Oh
would
yeah,
not take anybody's shit. Like if that was what Lois was, I
yeah.
just think her and the number one person who is like the only Lois left. I think the difference is Margot Kidder had like a couple movies, while that person
Yeah,
had like 5, 6 seasons of TV to really develop Lois into like a multi-dimensional like
yeah.
thing. But I thought for the time, especially Margot Kidder was fantastic. I thought she
You
was
want me?
really
You.
just the amount of times like the unfortunate part is like she ended up in a movie like Superman 4 at one point where
And
all
3.
she does is like Clark.
I know. Well, dude, that's the whole thing. Like, I remember when we were little, like we always used to say, like, "Oh, Margot Kidder is Lois Lane." Like, all she does is be annoying the whole movie and just goes, "Clark, Clark." And here's my thing too. Here's why I didn't put her in number one either. I also wasn't a huge fan of part of the characterization of her. It's not her performance. It's part of the characterization where Superman has this random power where whenever he kisses her, she like forgets he's Superman. It-
Yeah.
Not a fan.
I mean that. Yeah, I think she had a good vulnerability about her, which I think is the key to Lois that a lot of them miss.
Yeah.
Oh, I get it. You don't want anyone to know how. Okay. And how big are you? How tall are you?
About 6'4".
6'4". And how much do you weigh?
Around 225.
225. Hmm. I assume then that the rest of your bodily functions are normal?
Sorry, beg your pardon?
Well, putting it delicately.
Mhm.
Do you eat?
Yes. Yes, I do. When I'm hungry.
You do. Of course you do. Well, then, is it true that you can see through anything?
Yes, I can. Oh, well, pretty much.
And that you're totally impervious to pain?
Well, so far.
What color underwear am I wearing? Oh, I'm sorry, I embarrassed you, didn't I?
Oh, no.
I did.
No,
I did.
not at all, Miss Lane. It's just that this platter must be made of lead.
Yes, it is, so?
Oh, you see, I sort of have a problem seeing through lead.
Oh, that's interesting. Problems and first name. Do you have a first name?
What do you mean, like Ralph or something?
No, I mean like,
Pink.
Huh?
Pink. Sorry, Miss Lane. I didn't mean to embarrass you.
Oh, you didn't embarrass me. What's your background? Where do you hail from?
Well, it's kind of hard to explain, actually. See, I'm from, well, pretty far away. Another galaxy, as a matter of fact. I come from a planet called Krypton.
Huh?
Krypton.
Oh, Krypton! With a C-R-I? No.
No, actually, it's Krypton with a K-R-Y, P-T, O-N.
K-R-Y. Do you like pink?
But she was really great for the time. I just think I'll just say it, Erica Durant's like is better.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, for both of us, like that's the unanimous number one.
I mean, we grew up
Erica
with
Durant.
Smallville, like, and Lois was one of those characters. She showed up, and I'm like, wow, this character is great. And like, she wasn't even like fully
Yeah,
Lois yet.
yeah,
Like, she didn't give a shit
yeah.
about reporting at first.
Yeah, like here's the thing though, like you have 7 seasons. Like this was the beauty of Smallville. And yeah, we're probably gonna sound biased here because we love
We
Smallville,
are
but
biased. Somebody say.
but like here's the beauty though, like that entire show just takes everybody from Superman lore and like develops them in ways you would never expect. Like I loved seeing Lois going from like this like college ready like young adult who had to go back to high school because she failed the last semester of college.
For like 3 episodes.
Yeah. And then like but then like have her like work at the Torch in Smallville High yet still not want to be a reporter. However, her life leads her down that path.
Yeah.
And then she becomes obsessed with the hero that's like saving everybody in Metropolis, and then and then she finds out it's Clark, and then that's when the whole Lois and Clark relationship starts to develop. There's so much I could say about that casting because that is just spot on casting.
Yep.
And like they couldn't have picked a better actress, honestly.
She had the attitude always. Like, she would kick people's asses if she had
Well,
to. Like,
she would get herself into trouble. Like there would be times where they characterized her as the damsel in distress, but when she was the damsel in distress, she would at least try to like solve the situation and get out of the situation by herself, like and kick people's asses because she's a military brat.
yeah.
Yeah, like
Well, they had much more of a chance to really develop all the sides of her. Like, you saw her when she was vulnerable, and you saw her family dynamics, and you saw like her relationship with Clark and how that evolved.
Your call is important to us. Please stay on the line. Or you can reach us on the web at www.vigilanteregistrationagency.fed.
I checked all of our databases. We have no record of Mr. Kent or Mr. Green in our facility. Did you try the Justice Department?
Yes, I tried the Justice Department, not to mention the Department of Domestic Security, the State Department, and the Defense Department that referred me back to you.
Ma'am, don't get huffy.
No, I am not getting huffy. I am a general's daughter. I don't even know how to get huffy, okay? I do happy, I do sad, and I do stop giving me the runaround, bitch, or I will come for you.
Like, at first she's just like, hey, Smallville, and like punching him on the shoulder and shit. And eventually it was like they fall in love, and I fully buy into it. I'm like, yeah, like, even though, like, because I remember early on in Smallville when she was there, I was like, Lois Lane is like, what is she doing here? Like, she's like, he's not even like Clark Kent yet, really. Like,
I think the way that they wrote her in was perfect. Like she's related to another character on the show.
Yes,
like,
that was smart.
You had to explain if you're gonna bring Lois Lane into that show. You have to explain where she's coming from, or where she comes from.
And
I
Chloe
think making
was
her,
what led her to be a reporter eventually.
Yeah,
like,
Chloe was not gonna be Lois Lane.
That theory back in the day.
Yeah,
Chloe Sullivan changes her name to
like,
Lois Lane.
And then just like going back to it too, like you have to have perfect chemistry with the actor that plays Clark Kent too. Yes. Like I don't think, and I'm being completely honest, and feel free to laugh, I do not think in any TV show that I have ever seen there has been better chemistry from any actors other than Tom Welling and Erica Durant.
I mean, that's definitely interesting. I'd have to think about that one.
Yeah, like it's insanity. They banter off each other so well. I love how their relationship starts off from like bickering like friends and then like there's like that brother and sister type of relationship, especially since she lives at the Kent farm for what, like 2.5 seasons.
Yeah, there was those early seasons of her where you're just kind of like, what are we doing with Lois? She's like jumping from different like jobs to like Mr. Kent's like campaign manager, and I'm like, what are we doing? And then she's like, oh, now I've got a job at like the Inquisitor or whatever, and she's like a shitty reporter. And I'm like, okay. And then like she gets the job at the Planet. I'm like, okay, here we go. And then eventually that's like you see her become like the Lois we know. Like at the finale, she's on Air Force One, like interviewing the president, and like Superman saves her. I'm like, this is classic Lois.
I know, dude, and I think that's the huge benefit of Erica Durance's interpretation of Lois Lane as well. Is like you have all of that character development, and she played every side of that character development to a T. It was more than perfect.
Yep. And she was great.
So that is our rankings of the Lois Lanes. Pat, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at this Pat guy, and also on the Cinemania World show sometimes, Hero Hour usually.
I just got the T-shirt for Hero Hour the other day.
Oh hell yeah! I was planning on getting that soon.
You can find me at my official website, alexmaddenmovies.mystrikingly.com. All my social media links are there: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. My OnlyFans is not there yet, but it is coming. It is going to be called Whack It and Watch It. I'm editing that out.
Oh God.
All right, guys, that is it for us today. We'll see you soon. Adios.